Okay, so my name is Yael Juglaris. I'm working as a psychologist here. I'm working for MSF here in this place, which is a place that welcomes teenagers from I would say 12 to 18. It is a place where they can have time and play here in the play football, volleyball, every game they want, but they also can have some more specific times with on consultation with either with a psychologist, or with a lawyer, with my colleague, and they also can have some school time with our partners. So mainly I receive children and teenagers that come to see me because of all the difficulties that they can have here on the camp, and on the way and on the travel they did to come here. One of the main problems that I can see in my consultations is the difficulty to keep the link with family, and the feeling to be a bit lost in this amazing situation. So we try to help them by giving them a time where they can have a discussion and where they can express themselves and their feeling about the situation. And so I think it is very important for them to have that moment, and being able to also maybe to cry or to express what they feel and what can be very difficult for them. And that's it.
And so we were talking earlier, and you were telling me things. Well, first of all, you don't like the label PTSD. However, in some way, the children are traumatized by their backgrounds, their journeys.
Well, I don't really like this label because, well, for me it is also a way to put a sticker, I mean, on some of the situations, and I think that it reduces the difficulty and the story that they can bring, and I think well, and it's a bit contradictory because they are not coming here for a long time, and we have to find the time at least to gain the confidence, trust, sorry, and try to come back on the history and try to maybe find for them some way where they can invest themselves. The reason why I don't really like so much the term PTSD is because for me it reduces the symptomatology that we can see here. So I prefer to talk about depression, and a lot of the children that we can meet are really depressed, really lost also. That's why.
And so you were saying that so you've been originally MSF were here in the camp. However, those facilities have been handed back to the state now, and they're based in the Salam Centre, which I'm going to visit shortly. And here at MSF, you deal with mental health issues specifically
psychological issues for adults with my colleague at La Paz, and for teenagers with me. We also have an outreach group that is working on the violence on people here on the camp. An outreach group that bring us also the situation that they are concerned about. But yeah, one of the main activity now for MSF is a psychologist activity.
Yeah. And you also mentioned, interestingly, Tavistock NHS, Tavistock Portman, who are based here and offer their services here. Can you just tell me a very brief amount about that?
Yeah, so Tavistock is one of our partners that so they come here once a week and to offer a group session with teenagers based on the they call it tree of life. So it is a way to work and to rebuild maybe the branch and the I don't know how you say it in English. Well,
the roots
of life.
Yeah.
So and so I think it's also important to have some to have the possibility to offer not only one-to-one therapy but also to have a group session.
Yeah. Yeah, and so some of the symptoms that we spoke about earlier, we were talking about people with suicidal thoughts and self-harming.
Yeah.
So just talk me through that very briefly.
So yeah, that's for sure. Self-harming is something that we can see a lot here.
Major issue.
Major issue. Yeah, a lot of the teenagers that we can see here, and even if we can see them playing football here in the yard, or if we can see them, they seem to be good and to play and to, but in fact they can be in a very depressed position, and they can also have that kind of comportment, such as self-harming.
Yeah, and so some of the symptoms we were talking about, for example, cutting, but also more cigarette burning.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you see a lot of.
Exactly.
And is that usually on the arms or on the legs or any body parts hidden?
Usually it is on the arm, but I suppose that we can also have on the legs and elsewhere.
Yeah.
But,
and what sort of age groups are you finding these people?
Usually they are mainly from 16 to 18.
And the majority of the cultural backgrounds for them?
Mainly I would say that they are Afghanis, but maybe others, but mainly Afghanis for self-harm.
And then we touched briefly about sexual exploitation, and what that might appear like, and how you might be involved in assisting in that. So just walk me through that again.
So yeah, of course there are some sexual abuse here in the camp, and of course it is something that is very that we have to care about. But in my consultation, it is not the consultation that is specific for sexual abuse, even if I can hear some talk that can worry me about that aspect. So in that kind of situation, I usually work with some of my colleagues from other organizations, such as FTDA, for instance, and so that they do specifically work on the treat aspects. And so they can at least find solution to propose to the teenager another place for the night or for the week.
So you were talking about once you identify that someone is vulnerable and at risk, then you will move towards pulling that child out of that situation and rehoming them elsewhere.
And usually they are rehoming in Saint-Omer, which is a place that is where FTDA is working, Transfer d'Asile. And if I have the opportunity, I can see them before. But when they are there in Saint-Omer, usually there are some others, either psychologists, either social worker that can also propose consultation and help them.
And what sorts of cultural backgrounds are they in the majority that you're coming across in particular?
You mean for sexual abuse? I would say that we have, the one that I have seen are mainly Afghanis, but for the sexual abuse that I have seen on women, at the Centre d'Hébergement Jules Ferry. We have a lot of Eritrean and Ethiopian girls.
Okay. And what sort of age groups are we talking from and to?
Well, we can have, the one that I have seen, they were 16 or 15, around that age.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.